11.2. This is the acknowledgement of receipt of complaint against Councilman Martinez. And today it would just be discussion of next steps. I think we'll start with the audience. I know we have people here tonight to speak on this one. If you'd like to come up, anyone who'd like to speak, you do have 3 minutes.
I'm here
on this topic.
In the flesh, the blood, the bone, and the spirit. I'm here to expose corruption, slander, and defamation, possibly violating the RICO Act, the Brady Law, your oath, the Constitution, and piracy on the land, including many more crimes. I'm here because I believe this man right here not only has slandered my name, but has defamed my character. I believe that he's involved with a vigilante organization associated with corrupt law enforcement, operating against the people of this land. The people that give you your authority out of trust and honor. And in my opinion, you have breached that. This man not only is organizing with government actors, criminals acting under the guise of government to exercise against me, but he's also going on social media and he's telling people that I'm a drug addict, that I'm crazy, that I'm a drunk. He's making fun of me because I'm 100% disabled. I'm having my animals, I have people trespassing my land, to murder my animals, to vandalize my property, to try to set my house on fire. I've had law enforcement girlfriends come from my county to your county to frame me for crimes that I never have committed. Not only they couldn't prove it. Have I received justice in my country? Yes, sir. Please stop my time. Is my time up?
1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute left. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. So I am here to say that this man should be looked at very closely and removed from government office and held accountable for the crimes that I believe he's committing against the American living mans and women's of this land. And I do believe I can prove that in any court of law. Take me there. I digress. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Martinez, and I'm going to try not to be so flagrant. Simply put, the lady that made this complaint, inside the complaint is all lies, and I have some proof here to absolutely disprove some of them. Some of them are just hearsay, but I have in my hand here a warrant for her arrest for harassment, which, if you guys would like to see a copy of it, it's right here. I can hand it to any one of you. I have minutes from the Fowler Board of Trustees meeting from April 14th of this year, where our mayor and the citizens of Fowler sat down and discussed all the Cora requests that our town is being flooded with. Flooded to the point that our town administrator has had to pull money from other departments to create a new position inside the administrative office just to help with process these Cora requests, and none of them are being paid for, and none of them are being picked up. But according to state law, they still have to process every single one of them. It's a huge drain on the town of Fowler, and like I said, it's taking money from other departments. We currently don't have any public ordinance enforcement because of this. And then I have her arrest record from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. If anybody wants to see that. If the simple part is she does this to here and at Fowler. She's filed multiple. She just read a complaint against, I think it was Sean Swope, the mayor of town of Fowler, just last month, claiming the exact same stuff she's claiming against Dick Martinez here. It's absolutely absurd, and I find it absolutely absurd that his complaint is even being brought out in a council meeting, considering there's been more stringent complaints made against council members of this board that have not come out in the meetings. So that's my say on that. And again, if any of you would like to see any of this, I'd be more than happy to hand it off to you, and you guys can share it or pass it around.
I would take a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others?
Yes, sir. I would like to say that I have been working on all the documentation. This would be Nick's file so far, and I will be turning it into you sometime next week, and I would like some time to get that to you. Also, I would like to add that Sean also has a file. Would you like to see that? Well, this is Sean's file. And here would be, this would be Nick's file. And I've been continuously harassed by both Nicholas and Sean. And I would like to have a better meeting with you guys next week. I hadn't been able to print all this off, and I would like to have good judgment, so I will be here next week.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to add a statement if I could. It's too late. Okay.
All right, so on the council side, we'll get started. I don't know, Jan, would you like to kick us off and just kind of on this being received and I guess council's opinion on this?
Kind of for your consideration is under the city council guiding principles, any type of violation of the rules, it basically says that city council may consider an alleged violation of these protocols added to a notice of public meeting. So in other words, it's what you're looking at tonight is whether you want to set this down for a public hearing, which could be at one of the city council meetings in the future. And I guess and again, it's the discretion of the city council whether or not he wants to do that or not. And that's basically, if it goes to hearing, then there's a process where you'd have to find by preponderance of the evidence being more likely than not that there was a violation of these rules. And so tonight basically is whether or not you want to set this down for a public hearing because potentially you believe a potential violation has occurred, but that comes down to city council's discretion whether or not he wants to do that.
Is there particular legal criteria that we would base that decision on, or is it just our own opinion?
It's going to be the city council guiding principles.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's whether or not any of these guiding principles have been violated. And then the standard, if it goes to a hearing, is going to be preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not that a violation has occurred.
And Dan, with these, with our guiding principles and with this one coming today, do these apply to, I guess, conduct or misconduct performed in the official role of council?
Yeah, they generally apply to city council members. Yeah, in their capacity as city council members, not in their personal capacity.
Got it.
So that's something to take into consideration also whether to set this down for hearing.
Okay, Dan, thank you.
Sure. I'm going to log back on, and I'll just hang up here.
Okay.
All right.
So we received this complaint, and you know, this is the first time we've received a formal complaint. Definitely the first time we've received one since all implementing the guiding principles and, you know, signing onto that. So that's why we're seeing this process this time. The initial kind of look at that complaint is, and you know, I think we seen that it was I think Facebook interactions made by Nick's personal Facebook page. So based on that, it would appear that it's done in his personal capacity, not in a official council person's capacity.
When we did the code of conduct, because I obviously was the poster child for why that happened, and mine was legal action, and that legal action came out that I was not guilty of the things that I was accused of. But I will also remind everyone that those actions that occurred mostly occurred. I mean, yes, we did have an incident with Susan Jung, and I apologize for that, and I believe we moved past that. But the actions that I was mostly being accused of misconduct for did not happen in my professional capacity as a city council person. They happened in my capacity, in my private life, at my job.
Which you're still liable for.
You guys wanted to hold me accountable, and I have learned greatly from those incidents and the things that have happened, and everyone wanted to hold me accountable for things that happened outside of my capacity as a city council person. So it does state in there that we are expected to hold up those principles and those moral things outside of the council chambers and outside of our capacity. Because remember, once we are elected here, we are at all times being looked at. My home has been photographed. Mayor Gurley's photo home has been photographed and put online. Our personal lives have been brought into this, and you guys wanted to hold me accountable for my personal life and my outside of council actions. So we have not all seen the evidence from this. I feel that it's hard to make a decision whether or not we want to move forward with this without seeing all the evidence. So my personal feelings is that we can't make a decision tonight whether or not we feel that we need to move forward with this without seeing the evidence of what happened.
Sure.
Because you guys held me accountable, wanted to hold me accountable for something based on hearsay. And based on the evidence the district attorney and the police turned in and looked at, I was found not guilty. So I think we do all of ourselves a disservice if we are not going to look at the evidence and make a decision based on that.
And let me remind you that your duty and your loyalty is to the people of the land, not to your own personal capacity.
Also,
right,
once the
everyone.
investigation is done or follows all the process of investigating this, if it is,
I'll provide that.
the
I'll
most
provide
we
that
can do
evidence.
is censor.
I'll get that to you.
That's all we can do.
I got it.
Other than that, it's a recall.
So according to the attorney, if it happened in his personal capacity and not during his official capacity, then it doesn't pertain to this? Is that correct?
Is that what we signed?
Reviewing our guiding principles, those are guiding principles
Is
for
that what
council,
the
for
attorney
city
just
council.
I would say yes.
I heard that.
That's what I heard the attorney say. I don't
I
feel like I read that when we signed it as that, because I feel that we all need to conduct ourselves in a proper manner inside and outside of our capacity. We're public officials. We're being looked at and criticized all the time.
And I agree.
And I was outside of capacity.
I agree that that's a valid point, and I also sympathize with how it all went down with you. And I also can acknowledge the frustrations that you must have to be going through, where you had to be held more accountable than this, but the rule is the rule. And with that being said, I still agree with Nicole on the lines of we we should take time to review this evidence and really get a full grasp of all of it. And at this point, I don't have enough information in my mind yet. I just barely heard about this and barely took copies of the gentleman's articles that he brought. So I'd like time to digest that. That's my opinion.
I'm in agreement with both council members that we do need to look at all of the evidence, not just provided by Sean, but also by the person that made the complaint. And then we can just move forward.
One thing I'd like to throw in is, everybody up here, all these council and the mayor, is if we do, I do all I can to stay off social media. You're not gonna find me on social media. Too many unknowns out there. You don't even know who you're corresponding with, as far as I'm concerned, where they live, anything. But if you are gonna do that, I don't know if you wanna say it's a disclaimer or whatever. City employees that are both in one of them always states, you know, I'm a city employee, but I'm a citizen also, which we are all citizens. We have our opinion, we have our right to our opinion. I'm just saying, maybe if you guys are gonna be on social media, make it fully aware that it's personal opinions.
Well, I think to that point, maybe you have counsel in jump you.
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't.
I do not have an official.
I just started on those, so if I ever comment about it, just make that separation.
My official capacity is here,
Yeah.
or when I have my name added on.
I mean, I think we have this code of conduct. It's perfectly valid to look at stuff. As far as scheduling a hearing, though, it's like we should have that evidence sort of in advance so that we can decide if we're going to have a hearing. What I've heard today is accusations of constitutional fraud, collusion with police departments throughout the county, RICO violations, piracy. Piracy, I don't know. But then when I read the actual complaint, I don't see how any of that really ties in. So if those
Thomas, I would like
accusations are
for you
being-
to
I will not yield my time.
that
Right now, I'm
different
speaking.
from her.
No, I'm speaking right now. If we get that information, we will address it when we have it available. I cannot review a packet of information on this stand. I'm happy to look at that information when we receive it. Until then, I can't judge the validity of this based on what we've received. The complaint that I saw essentially said that some things were said on Facebook that people were made unhappy by. That's essentially what I saw. If I missed something, I understand I missed something, but I don't understand all those accusations with collusion with police officers to frame and people coming onto our property, and those are completely very, very serious things. If any of that's true, it's a very serious thing, but it requires some form of evidence. We can't have a hearing, schedule a hearing based on, well, these things were said on Facebook that I dislike, therefore all these things that happen in my life must be somehow connected to all the corrupt police in the county. And I'm not prepared to drag the police departments into some potentially derogatory conversation about their conduct without any evidence whatsoever. So when we see this evidence, I say then, if we believe that it's credible, we hold a hearing. Until then, I don't think we have enough to make a decision on that question. That's my view. Thank you.
Nick, anything?
Well, I think it's pretty simple, actually. I think that we've had this complaint for a couple weeks now. We received this 2 weeks ago. It is now on the agenda. We've wasted money speaking to our lawyers. That has cost us money. This is on the agenda. It's costing us money. If the evidence isn't here, what's the case? If I got a court date in Ontario Combined Courts and I showed up with nothing, they would politely ask me to leave and refile my case, and then that would cost me money. I think that while she may be hurt by some things that were said on Facebook, I think it's real simple that if you don't like what somebody says on Facebook, there's a little button at the top that says block. Some of us have blocked each other, and So, I mean, we all know how to use that button. So I think that's a real simple, if she doesn't like what I have to say, and I'm not asking her to like some of the things I have to say. I can be a very divisive person. My opinions are my own, and I feel very strongly about them, and as an American, I believe I have that right. She doesn't have to listen to them. Nobody has to agree with them. But they are my opinions. As an American citizen, my First Amendment rights are the same as hers, or yours, or anybody's. You don't have to listen, you don't have to agree. Block me. Move on with our lives. I think that if we continue to push this, which you can feel free, I don't even vote on it, you guys make that decision. I think it's a waste of our time. I think it's a waste of our taxpayers' dollars and a waste of our citizens' time. There's nobody here but technically not even citizens of Rocky Ford. So even if they determine that I did something wrong, there is no recall opportunity because neither of those ladies that are here today are Rocky Ford citizens or registered voters inside the city. So just like when we went through with Nicole, it was nobody could pull the recall that wasn't in her ward. So I mean, if we're going to use the rules, we have to use the rules. If you guys would like a hearing, that's up to you.
And if you all recall, when everything happened with Councilperson Roberts, I stayed out of it. I made no comments until the legal team was done. I stayed quiet on it. Let the investigation take its course.
All right. So on this, I think a couple things that I would touch on it. Looking at it is, again, wanted to clarify whether or not this is really, were those guiding principles created for city council and what we will and will not do in our official capacities, and I guess what that was the intent of it. But also with that, I think there is just some maybe additional accountability for us to know that, like Nicole said, we are under a microscope. We are going to be observed in personal life, and that is going to kind of muddy that line into official capacity. But in reviewing these, these were comments made from Nick's Facebook page, to someone, an argument, or nasty things, whatever it was. But doing that in his official capacity, any of us having interactions in a personal interaction, that we do have that right to say and do whatever it is. Although consequences are always associated, whether those are good or bad. But I think on the face of this, it's a personal thing. A lot of those claims are directly to him. Those, we heard claims of libel, slander, things like that. Those would all be personal civil matters. So that's the way that I read the complaint and the way that I look at this. I do hear, that maybe it would help with having additional information, additional discovery to make a future decision. I leave that with the council to someone make a motion on our next step.
I make a motion that we just, if it's not gonna go to a legal charges citations being issued, then there's nothing we can do. If there's no law enforcement involved, there's nothing we can do.
But that's part of the problem, is that the allegations that have made when she came up here are criminal allegations. To Nicole's point, she was found innocent of these charges later, so how are we to judge someone if they have intent to bring these people to legal court? If they're later found innocent, then what? And one of the complaints was mocking a disability, and she was mocking the second speaker that came up here.
to say we want to have a hearing at this point. So,
Well, I'd like to say that I don't know either of these two ladies.
we don't have their name at this point
there's
either.
been a
Neither of
couple
them have
interactions on
introduced
Facebook.
themselves. Sean did introduce himself, but
That was our fault. We shouldn't have
upon
asked that.
assumption, I think we know who one of them is, but not the other. Based on the fact that you filed the complaint. You are the one that filed the complaint, okay? So, you're the other lady, we don't even know who she is. So, again, we don't have the evidence. I mean, I think I hear all of us saying we don't have the evidence to, at this point, bring him to a hearing here. So whether we table this or just vote to not pursue it at this point because we don't have the evidence, either way works for me.
I would motion that we vote to not pursue it at this point with the knowing that if it comes up later after it has gone to, she takes it to court and evidence is made and judgment is made, then bring that and then we can revisit it. And that way there's something.
I think it's good and healthy that we're having a conversation.
100%.
But, like I said, until we see the information, I understand we're gonna be provided with some information, and then it's gonna be more a lot to review before the next session, but I think at that point, the procedure should start over. We should have a vote at that time to decide this, so I don't think it needs to be tabled. If we get the information, we can bring it up, so until then,
That was my motion.
you already made a motion.
I'll second
Yeah.
Mary's motion
All right.
to not pursue this at this time based on lack of evidence.
All right, so we do have that motion from Councilman Murray and the second from Councilwoman Roberts. Call the vote.
Mullins,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Barone,
Yes.
Martinez,
Abstain.
Mosby. Yes. Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Gugule.
Yes. All right, so the council has made a motion and has approved that motion to not pursue this. Just want to say that part of the guiding principles is that we will acknowledge the complaint, and this is the acknowledgement of reviewing this. That you kind of heard here. If there's further information, further evidence